Make me believe, help me believe that he killed himself. Help me believe that maybe you don't have any evidence against people. Then show us that stuff. I do not trust the government at all, and yet they expect me to take their word for it. I'm sorry, you lost your credibility a long time ago, government. You need to start gaining the trust of these American people back. And I really hope and pray that they can at least provide some sort of evidence.
How do you prove the negative, Travis?
You know, guys, I think it's pretty clear to any honest observer that what we are currently witnessing with this whole Jeffrey Epstein saga is a Donald Trump who is having to deal with the situation in a way that he has never had to contend with things before. Normally, people in the MAGA movement, they just fall back in line. And over the past, decade or so, the cult has been signaling to Donald Trump that he can pretty much get away with anything that he wants to do. But when it comes to this Jeffrey Epstein thing, that is no longer the case. And I'm not saying that, there is like 50% of the MAGA movement that is going to blow up this issue and we're never going to hear from these people again. But I do think there is a substantive percentage of the MAGA base that is not just going to fall back in line and pretend like nothing ever happened. And so much so that people are now calling into their favorite MAGA radio shows or talk shows to express their discontent with this administration and the way that they have gone about this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. I mean, just listen to this caller calling into Glenn Beck saying that he just feels very, very betrayed by this whole thing. And I want you guys to notice the raw emotion in this caller's voice. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
To Travis in South Dakota. Hello, Travis.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Jason. I tell you what, guys, I feel really betrayed, and I feel really, really angry. We have a president who tells us to move on from Epstein because it doesn't matter. Are you guys still talking about this? Seriously? And yet he still talks about the 2020 election fraud. He talks about the Hunter Biden laptop. He talks about all this stuff from 5-6 years ago, and he tells us to move on from the Epstein trial or the Epstein case. People like me will not stop talking about this. I feel so betrayed and so angry. This is not what I voted for. If we do not stand up for the children of this country, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. And I tell you what, I've also lost a lot of respect for a lot of people that are prominent figures in this country because they are saying, you know what, this doesn't matter. Like Carrie Lake came out on Saturday. She's like, you know what really matters is election fraud and post-election fraud. It's like, you know what, the children of this country really, really matter. How can we just sweep them under the rug and not care? Move on, America. Move on.
Travis, thank you for calling. Let me ask you, is there anything that could be said that would make you go, okay, that's as good as it's going to get for here?
I want transparency and I want justice.
I mean, just notice how upset this Travis guy is. He's almost on the verge of tears because he feels so betrayed by Donald Trump. And you know what? I think he's got every reason to feel that way. I mean, on the one hand, I just want to throw these people aside and never talk to them again. But on the other hand, when it comes to the human emotion of it all, I feel like these people, they have been duped. They have been deceived. They have been sold a bill of goods that just does not exist. Donald Trump has been stoking the flames of these conspiratorial fires ever since he came onto the political scene back in 2015. And here you've got Travis calling in saying, what about the kids? What about the justice for these children who were abused? Most likely playing into the idea that there is a vast cabal, a vast conspiracy of people at the elite levels who are engaging in this huge sex trafficking ring. You know, that just has not borne out to be true. But Donald Trump has been stoking those flames for years now. And now that he is president, now that he is the deep state that these people have been complaining about for a decade now, he comes out and says, hey, nothing to see here, guys. Just move on. And if you don't move on, you guys are just weak, pathetic losers. I don't want your support anymore. I mean, damn right, Travis has every right to be upset here. I mean, I just feel so bad for these people that they have so thoroughly bought into this MAGA conspiracy bubble that they feel let down on something that doesn't even necessarily come close to the truth. But this is the movement that Donald Trump has made. Here's the next guy calling in and saying that, this is a betrayal that is just going to cement deep state power into perpetuity.
Denver, Matt, welcome to the Larry Elder Show. Got to be quick, but you got the mic.
Carl, great stuff. Wish it was under better circumstances. This is a sad, sad day in America. It might take MAGA a few days to wake up and realize what happened. This cemented permanent deep state power. There's now no going back. We asked for one thing out of the gate. We said the Epstein list. You want to drain a swamp? You start with that list. This is the ultimate betrayal, Carl. How does Trump survive when half of them says, you know what, bud, you're like every other president. You were all about the MAGA, all patriotic, and now look at you. When it came time to do the tough thing, the right thing, the society-changing thing, he couldn't do it. He's captured. So now we're destined to, a better version of the establishment, I guess, Carl.
Matt, listen, I appreciate the call. I don't agree with that, but I will say this. Matt is not the first person that I've heard those sentiments from.
So here you got a guy saying, what the hell? Donald Trump, he's just cementing the deep state into perpetuity. He has become the thing that we have been railing against for the past number of years. But I just don't understand how these guys get there. You know what I mean? Like, you've got Donald Trump, who has deep, deep ties to somebody like Jeffrey Epstein, which is probably why he has been so averse to the idea of, releasing all of these quote-unquote Epstein files. And then you got this guy calling in saying that, what? Now Donald Trump is become the deep state? Or that you have let the deep state walk all over you and now we're not going to get any justice or anything like that? I just don't understand this particular call. But again, you've got a caller very upset that Donald Trump has just botched this whole Epstein files release. I just don't understand why some of these people don't understand why Donald Trump isn't going about releasing these files. Why are they not drawing the connection to Donald Trump being deeply intertwined with Jeff Epstein's world? I mean, they were best of friends for the better part of 2 decades. I think it was 15 or so odd years. I mean, they hung out with the same people, went to the same parties, they did weird shit together. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Here's the next guy calling into the Jimmy Fallon show, saying that Trump is just trying to gaslight us all.
Trey is in Wilmington, North Carolina. Yo, Trey.
Yo, Jimmy, what's happening?
You name it, man. Everything's happening except the release of the Epstein files. But other than that, yes, everything's happening.
Just the point is, I'm a 3-time Trump voter. I believe in Trump. He's delivered on everything he promised. These Epstein files, we were told that there was going to be released. There was this client list that was going to be released. And the fact that it's suddenly gone away and he's trying to gaslight us is like a punch in the gut to MAGA.
It looks
That's
weird.
the way I feel. It's like you asked for a bike for Christmas and got a Red Ryder BB gun instead.
That's not a bad gift. According to my friend Ralphie, that's a good gift, though.
Yeah. Or you got a lamp that looks like a lady's leg.
You got my attention. But I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And in politics, usually you underpromise. You say, hey, who the hell knows with this Epstein thing? But if we get in, we'll have a look. They did the opposite.
If they have messed up, just come forward and say, look, people, we screwed up. There is no list. I'm sorry. And let's see some heads roll. Let's see some resignations.
Yep.
So here you've got the radio host himself, Jimmy Fallon, and the caller saying, hey, something about this, it just doesn't look right. If you guys made a mistake, why don't you just own up to it, come out and admit as much, and then we can be on our way. But that is not what this Trump administration is doing. Donald Trump never, ever takes accountability for any wrongdoing he may have been engaged in. And so when he comes into office, and now he is this deep state that, like I said, they've been complaining about for years, and he says, oh, nothing to see here. We're not going to release anything. Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Nothing to see here, guys. You got the MAGA movement, some of them, saying, hey, this feels like a punch in the gut. And I really like that the radio host is kind of calling this out as something a little shady, something a little fishy, but they need to go a little bit further. Why is Donald Trump not releasing this material? Why is he working so damn hard right now to throw your attention onto story after story after story? Why is he trying to divert all attention away from his ties to Jeffrey Epstein? Why is that? I wish these radio hosts would be more honest. I mean, if this were happening to a Democrat, you know without a doubt that they would already be at this conclusion. They would already be throwing up new accusations about, oh, they must be involved in this, and this, and this, and this. But for Donald Trump, for whatever reason, he enjoys this level of charitability that nobody else under the sun would ever be privy to. I mean, it is just absolutely crazy to me. And I'll show you this one last caller, again to the Jimmy Fallon show, calling in saying that they are just dropping the ball on this Jeffrey Epstein story.
Okay, well, I just got to say, what in the flip-flop in hell is going on with this administration?
Well, listen, here it is. I mean, they get really good grades for things like the economy, the border. You know, I like the bill they passed. I like the Doge cuts. There's something about this that isn't working for me. That's all.
It smells real bad.
Yeah.
Here, I got. You know what Trump should do?
Mm-hmm.
He should come out in front of the cameras and everybody else and just say, yeah, I was friends with Epstein. Yeah. You know, I was on his plane. Yeah, I didn't do nothing wrong. You know, if he's got to lie, he's got to lie. Okay.
Yeah.
If he came out and confronted this, it would go away.
100%. Do you want to know what's, do you know what someone told me for real who has pretty good knowledge of this? They said he actually believes there's nothing here on Epstein. And he wants the media, people like me, and he wants the Democrats, even though he's saying, shut up, don't talk about it. Right. According to someone who would know, he's saying that because he wants us talking about it, because while everybody's talking about it, they're quietly passing a lot of legislation. They just passed a big, beautiful bill. They're about to pass a rescissions package, and this might even be beneficial to him in ways we don't understand. I don't know that to be true. That's just someone mentioned it to me who might know. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. So who the hell knows? But everything else, go ahead.
Man, these guys are dropping a ball like they got grease on their fingers.
Yeah, so here you got them, putting the conspiracy forward that, oh, yeah, this is just a 5D chess move from Donald Trump. He just wants everybody talking about this Epstein stuff, so in the background they're passing all this legislation. But that's not even true. We can see when bills are passed. They have passed a couple things. The big, beautiful, the big despicable bill was passed before this Jeffrey Epstein story really blew up. So that theory just doesn't hold any water at all. But I do think the caller here is absolutely right. If Donald Trump just came out in the beginning and said, yeah, I was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, we hung out a lot, we were best friends, and then when I heard that he was involved in all of this illicit behavior, this illegal behavior, this sexual assault of these minor girls, well, then I cut ties with the dude. I didn't know what was necessarily going on behind the scenes with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, we did fly on the same plane a couple times. We did hang out, but I didn't have anything to do with that. And then when I heard about it, I broke away. Just think about how different this story would have been if that were Donald Trump's response. But because he can never admit fault in anything, now, he's caused the biggest Streisand effect that the world has ever seen. He comes out every single day, throwing us onto another story to try to distract from this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. And now you've got reporters from all outlets under the sun wanting to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into why Donald Trump is trying to hide all of this nonsense. We are learning that the friendship between Jeffrey Epstein and some of the things that they did is maybe a bit more shady than we initially thought. And that's only because Donald Trump has been doing whatever he can to try to talk about other things, which makes us more curious as to why he is trying to do that. So he's really just shooting himself in the foot on this matter. If you poll the country as a whole, you've got between 60 and 70% saying that the Epstein file should be released. You have up to between 35 and 40% of people, Republicans or in the MAGA movement, saying that they disapprove of how Donald Trump is handling this issue. And now you've got callers calling into their favorite MAGA radio hosts complaining about how Donald Trump is just fucking up on this issue. So we will definitely keep an eye on it. Like I said, I think it is a at least a substantive percent of the MAGA base that is just not going to let this go. Does that mean that, the MAGA movement is going to fall apart? No, not necessarily. That's probably very unlikely. But Donald Trump is suffering some deep political bruising here because he has just botched this whole Jeffrey Epstein file thing. And as he continues to try to talk about everything else under the sun, as he continues to try to divert attention away from this story, and the more he doesn't come out and own his relationship between himself and Jeffrey Epstein, I think the worse it's going to get for him. So we will definitely keep an eye on it, guys. Here's a few MAGA callers who are just unhappy with the moron in chief, Donald Trump. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. Like I said, we are trying to build something here on the left that pushes back against this right-wing media ecosystem that most of the time launders all of this nonsense for Donald Trump. So if you do like what I do here, please remember to smash that subscribe button. That is free. We also just started a Substack at politiscape.substack.com. If you want to help support me over there, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to see how Donald Trump absolutely lost his mind during a recent Oval Office press event with the president of the Philippines, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.